Press the bell icon for all the updates.
The anonymity of social media, because you're sitting in the cool confines of your room, sometimes you don't have a name also attached to you. AC chal rahi hai, you're getting localized, what do you call it, conditioned air. Mama aake paratha de rahi hai. So all of this adds to a lot of, bravado, that you have. And then you become this warrior. फिर आपको लगता है आप दारा सिंह को आप तोड़ सकते हो. That's what social media does to you. That's what, the anonymity of social media does to you. Now, this can have two broad impacts. One is you can, take it very, very positively. You can become a Pratik Sena or a Meghnad, some people who are, part of our nominees list and who are doing some great work, taking on people, But if it is left unchecked, it can have an extremely sad impact. It can make you into a very negative person, And the problem with that is that you end up becoming an irritating, offensive, provocative son of a, okay, whatever. And when his sole intent is to provoke others, is to elicit an emotional response from others. And again, you guys are more than used to it. So, Twinkle, I'll actually start with you. You're funny, you're opinionated, you are a writer, you are a film actor, you have pronounced filmy affiliations, and you're a woman. Does it make you a living, breathing, moving bullseye for the trolls? What's your take on it?
I don't know if I'm a bullseye for trolls. They come along, and they do that to everybody. Yeah. And people who take trolls seriously, I would say, are rather foolish. I mean, they're like cockroaches. Once in a while, you spray hate, and they scamper out of your way, and you go on. But I do look at criticism and I examine it very carefully. Sometimes it is valid and it always tells me something about the world around me or myself. But I'm not going to really listen to somebody who can't even spell my name and calls me Twinkle. I really don't care what they say.
Okay, Gul, I would love to hear from you. You, apart from being all that you are, and you're so many things, I don't even know how do you manage to be so many things being one person. You also have pronounced political affiliations, yeah? Now, is the attack on you more, are the attacks on you more pronounced, more, organized? How have you dealt with it? What do you want to say about that,
I think the moment you take a position on anything, you set yourself up for an attack, either from people who disagree with you or people who just don't like the fact that you've taken a position. Because traditionally, women, and more so those who belong, so to speak, to the film industry, are not entitled to have an opinion. And that's something that's discouraged. It's changing now, but that was something that was discouraged even within the industry. As a result of which, what one sees is that the moment you've taken a position, you're going to have a bunch of people disagree with you. Sure. Some people will disagree with you in a manner which is probably fact-based or has a certain argument or two, which is, like just Twinkle rightly said, is worth examining and seeing that maybe your own argument in this particular case is flawed. But some people are out there just to get after you. Now, there's a couple categories. One is the ones who can't spell your name right. That's the kinds you don't engage with. Two is the kind who hurl abuse at you and physical harm at you. I've had people threaten the vilest things, threaten me with the vilest things. My father, who's also very, very outspoken, him, my brother, again, all of us are very, very outspoken, with very strong views on things. So the trick, in my opinion, is to have a thick skin. Many years ago, I would let a lot of people get under my skin, a lot of people. Mm-hmm. Now, I take things in my stride. I believe that is, having people come at you because of your views is something that's going to happen anyway.
Sure.
The important thing is to reserve the right to examine yourself and see whether you could perhaps take a better position. And the other thing is never, ever, ever lose your cool. Because too many of us have lost the moral high ground when we've resulted in or reduced ourselves to the trolls' vocabulary. Mm-hmm. So I always choose the charming route. No matter how much somebody will abuse me, I will at best say, you're very well brought up. But I will never abuse online. I will never let go of the moral high ground and give and cede that to the troll. And I think that's the only way you're able to slay them with a bit of charm and some borrowed wit, which, of course, one would find in ample on Twinkle's timeline. So I think that's the way forward. They are going to be there. They aren't going to run away.
True.
And there are organized attacks, especially when so there's something, and it has something to do with your political affiliations, of course, but it also has something to do with you taking a position which is contrary to the majoritarian one, and then the bugle is sounded, and they come and hunt you in packs. So the hounds come, and they come and hunt you in packs. So I think you've just got to be aware that these are hounds that are hunting. You've got to be the fox and outmaneuver them.
But in some cases, it becomes slightly scary. So there's this quaint journalist who wrote a piece on the entire Facebook event that they wanted to do, where the Bolna Auntie Aun Kya, that Om Prakash Mishra, the singer, people wanted to come gather at a place and, So she wrote against it. She said that it's a misogynistic song and the man has, he should not be promoted, he should not be encouraged. And they, gathered at various Facebook forums, and then they decided to give it back to her, gave her rape threats, gave her death threats, and it became they had to file a police case and all, So it ceased to be just one guy trying to act cocky with you, a guy trying to act smart with you. It kind of translated into something really, really sad, and they took her picture, morphed her, and, you started using her on social media. So she went through a huge, issue, Sorry.
I think that is a lacuna in the way social media platforms function, because typically this kind of abuse is aggregated on mediums like Twitter and Facebook, and more often than not, the position taken by the platforms is that you have to take a long, arduous route via the cyber cell and register complaints and deal with it the way the law would have you deal with it. So the fact is that we live in a real world. When you're putting yourself out there, you have to be prepared for people who are not going to say flattering things. And I just want to open the conversation up a little bit from trolls specifically to anybody saying things to you that are unkind or unpleasant. And a lot of famous people have actually left Twitter because in the past, we've had a sort of interaction which was tempered and filtered. So publicists helped you make sure that there weren't too many acrimonious or anti-pieces written about you and everything was in a controlled environment. Here comes social media where it sort of democratized the ability to have a conversation and say things about you. And suddenly you do get your bouquets, but you also get a significant number of brickbats. Now coming back to being a woman on social media, there are going to be people who will say stuff to you. There's no getting away from that. And I think you've got to, I mean, I don't want to use the word toughen up, but you've got to have the ability to dismiss and discount. And when there is serious bodily harm intended or threatened, then you have to have what it takes to take the fight to its logical conclusion. And that's where a lot of us give up. Because the process of going to a police station, registering an FIR is arduous. And our law enforcement mechanism isn't the easiest to deal with. So if anybody who's ever gone into a police station, try and get an FIR registered, even for a phone that's been taken from your hands, I think I'm dominating and monopolizing the mic. I have to let go in a second. But we don't see these things through. And because we don't see these things through, we don't have very many people actually being deterred by it. So today, anybody can hurl abuses and bodily harm and threats and threats of rape and the like, and get away with it because no one has the intent to go follow the course, go to the cop station, get it done, be like, yeah, it's so inconvenient, let me block him. So I think therein lies half of the problem. So we've got to discount some, and then if you really feel threatened, you've got to go out there and make sure that you get this guy.
Sure. Malini, you don't have any political affiliations, You don't have any political affiliations at all, and yet you also, have your own, face your own share of trolls. Are most trolls trolling you in particular, or a lot of people like you, is because they can never become you? Is it because they're jealous of your success of you? Would you actually attribute it to that they're plain jealous?
You know, I think if you sort of zoom out and think about it, why people troll people, it's not really about you at all. It's about them. And you have to look at it this way. So the opposite of love isn't hate, it's indifference. So there's two ways that you need to look at trolls. One, and what we tend to do is we try to kill them with kindness, and sometimes we try to use humor. But the point is that you have to try to zoom out and approach people who troll you with a shield of empathy and kindness. This is not for them, it's for you. To try to understand that whatever this person is, for whatever reason they're coming and saying nasty things to you, it's really something that's going on with them.
Sure.
So what we try to do is stay above the fray and ignore it, or we kill them with kindness however we can. My mother is really good at this because my mother spends a lot of time on social media trolling my trolls. So somebody put up a picture, I put up a picture and someone commented saying, Malini, you're looking old. So my mother wrote, so what? You're getting younger, then you're going to turn into a baby, and then what? You know, so I thought it was amazing. And I think the thing is that, one, you have to have thick skin. Two, you have to not take yourself so seriously. Because at the end of the day, what matters, right? Just like Twinkle said, the people who matter are the ones that you care about, the ones whose opinions you care about. And yes, people troll us for various reasons. I get trolled if I put up a picture of a particular actress. The other actresses' fan clubs will say, how much did she pay you? You know? So I'll get a lot of, I'm like, if everyone paid me, I would be on a yacht. Have you seen my car? It's so busted. No, so it's like literally a lot of that kind of trolling. Then they'll be trolling about, Malini, why do you only put pictures of yourself up, you know, talking to celebrities, or whatever the thing is. And I think it comes down to very often just loneliness. And I've realized when I reply to some of the trolls, they get so happy that I said something, you know, in response to them. So I'll say whatever in response, thanks for dropping by, sorry you felt bad or you didn't like it. And then they'll be really nice back, you know? Yeah. So I think it's really about people, it's a cry for attention, and it's something that's going on in their minds, and I think that's the way you have to approach it.
Sure. Tanmay, you've been a veteran at facing trolls, you know, for God knows how many years. You know, you've been you are.
For my trolls are like lawyers and cops and shit. Like, this Twitter and all is like very basic.
So the question to you is, you know, see, you know, you can also be perceived as a troll, and you know that you also take people's, you know.
Tanmay trolled me once.
He did, yeah. So when the entire Snapchat controversy happened, I read somewhere that Acha is getting it back. You are not getting it back. I don't think that's the case. But the Sachin Tendulkar Lata Mangeshkar controversy. Am I allowed to talk about it?
Yeah, feel free. Okay. There was no case, by the way. Everyone assumes there was a case, but there was no case.
Yeah. So trolling versus, you know, and you got trolled big time at that point of time. You know, people went berserk. How do you maintain your sanity when something like this happens? You know, how do you stay normal? Because people are at it and they're very vitriolic, and especially in that case, I saw both Sachin's fans and Lata's fans were at it. I think they wanted to kill you or some such. You know.
Sorry, what's the question again?
So how do you deal with this? How do you deal with this entire thing? How do you stay sane?
You can't. It's like first thing what I did was, I just started to learn how to put the laptop down. Like, I think that's step one. And you realize that beyond the laptop screen, everything else is fine. I went to Dulali that evening, and it was amazing. I realized that, oh, nobody here actually cares. It's just in this ecosystem because they're at the center of it, it feels like. But if you just keep your laptop and just go out, you go like, oh, it's all good. I think online trolling apart, like, I'm so immune. It's a scab it's wounded so often that I don't care anymore. I'm more worried about when the judiciary is the punishment. Yeah. The law is the punishment. I'm more worried about when there's like 16 FIRs against you for making a dick joke on stage. That's when the problem arises because it ruins your life. And I think the biggest aspect, at least in my profession, comedians are, like, the word trolling it's been used too much. Like, if you make fun of anybody, it's called trolling now, etc., etc. So comedians are inherently trolls to everybody. We're taught to punch up. The biggest disadvantage of stuff like this is self-censorship more than anything else. That's the biggest byproduct. That's the worst part about about the law coming after you. Because tomorrow, if I want to make a joke about Amit Shah, I'm going to think about it 3, 4, 5 times before I do it. So that's the worst part. The comedians, the country is losing some fantastic opinions, is what I think. So you just have to keep fighting it.
But for that, I mean, then it goes far beyond the trolls, the visible trolls. It's, now you're talking about the...
Yeah, I don't even care about,
yeah.
Weber_0385 with an egg has his display picture. That's not your handle, I know. I think everyone should just be made link your Aadhaar to Twitter and the problem will get solved immediately. Just link your Aadhaar to Twitter, to every social media, you're accountable for what you say, and then it's over.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So, and this is actually pertaining to both Jose and you, but Jose, I'll love it if you give it a shot. Is humor the best way to give it back to trolls? But because you're still engaging with them, you're still, talking to them. Or is it just ignore, move on? I mean, and you use humor brilliantly.
So I used to reply to a lot of people before, and then I realized a lot of these people are just trying to waste my time. So they're just wasting your time. They don't really want to know the answer to something, or they don't want to expand their view of it. They don't even want to help you out. So you're essentially wasting your time, even replying to some people. So over the years, I've kind of figured out, it's gotten a little easier to figure out who's really engaging and who's not engaging. Like the guy who's saying, "Hey, teri maa," is not really engaging you. He wants to say something about your mother.
Yeah.
So over time, I sort of figured out who I can engage with, who I can not. And yeah, like I think Gul and Tanmay have covered the whole trolling space a lot. A lot of it is just, imagine you're thinking about the negative things that somebody said to you a whole day later. You're wasting your time. But it's a very real impact. So it's like someone sending you an SMS. We talked about this really long back, but now a tweet or a Facebook message is the same as sending an SMS. It's coming directly to your phone, so it affects you directly. So like Gul said, you gotta, I guess, get a little thick about it. And the best thing to do is block indiscriminately, mute people, mute the crap out of them, stop tweeting.
Okay,
Just
so
delete your Facebook account.
No, I don't think we'd be here if we'd be deleting our account. So actually, Twinkle, it's the next one is for you. So ignore, engage, or block. I mean, we have discussed all three. So
I think even talking about them right now is a waste of time. I don't even think about
Bang
them.
on.
It's really a waste of time. You have to just go on, do what you're doing, and just walk straight on. That's it. Moses part the sea, go on. That's it.
But these guys are there to stay. The online bullies are. The online bullies are there to stay. So they would always be around, and sometimes they can impact you. Sometimes they can depress you also. So and Gul is nodding. So you can't completely ignore. And on Facebook and all, you can block somebody. You know that you'd never be around. But
You can ignore, yeah, but I swear you can ignore.
When someone comes in your face, when someone makes a phone call, when someone says, you need to stop saying this because otherwise there'll be consequences. Those are scary things. But, I mean, we really can't waste our time thinking about what, anonymous people who are frustrated are saying about you.
And there's a short shelf life, they'll troll you and then they'll move on. In like 48 hours, they've got somebody else to troll.
IT cell से email आ जाएगा तो किसी और के पास जाना पड़ता है तो अभी क्या करें?
So you guys would not recommending unmasking them, or exposing them, talking about them, telling the world about them at all. That's not the way to go.
Or just encourage other people then to want
I think
to do.
sometimes it's important to reply. Like, for example, now the way things work is if a verified account replies to a tweet, that tweet will be at the top of the timeline. Mm-hmm. So everybody who's reading it will see that first. So let's say someone tweeted some fake news, and you decide to ignore that. That's a bad idea because then everybody's just sharing that. And the first reply should ideally be the truth. So sometimes I will go out of my way to reply to something that I think needs an answer or that I think people should see. But otherwise, most of the time, I think you should ignore.
The last question of the day, and this is for all of you. So these guys attack and they hunt in packs, and we went through that. Sometimes they're talking about your family members, about you, death threats, rape threats, all kind of randomosity, which happen. Would there ever come a time where you say, "Chuck it, nahi karna hai. मैं निकल रहा हूँ यहाँ से, मैं निकल रहा हूँ यहाँ से."
I'm already doing that.
You are?
I'm only retweeting jokes now. I'm kidding. No.
Jose had a baby so he can be taken away from Twitter.
So
No?
I brought the politics down a bit because at one point, and now I'll tweet things that I only feel are like important or that I feel like I should speak about, because otherwise it's just, I feel like people are going to go insane using social media. I feel like people who are always embroiled in politics are going to go nuts.
There's the Twitter head of product now is this lovely guy. He studied in Chennai, then ex-IIT Bombay. His name is Sriram Krishnan. Okay. And I found out he's the head of Twitter product now, and I reached out to him, and I've been giving him suggestions of how to make Twitter a more happy place. Like, I think there should just be like when you log on Twitter, you press one button, and your whole timeline gets filtered to just dogs and cats.
Oh, yes.
Press another button, it's just jokes. Because that's what I primarily am on Twitter for.
I want to delete the mentions tab. Like, if we can get rid of that.
Yeah, if we can get rid of that.
Why do we need that?
That'd be amazing. That'd be really good.
I also find if you spend more time on, like I spend a lot of time on social media, but I've tried to drift away from only randomly scrolling through other people's timelines or reading random comments. So I've been trying to figure out what I want to focus on. So I've started something called like Malini's Girl Tribe, where just women come together and they talk about their problems and they want to talk about helping each other. And I feel like that's more meaningful conversation. And we're able to actually use Facebook to help each other. So someone wanted to find a job, or someone really wanted to vent about the fact that, her brother-in-law tried to molest her, and her parents said, you can't put this post up publicly on your Facebook. So she was able to put it in this group,
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like, for me, I feel like I'm trying to find a better part of social media to spend my time on. Of course, my whole job is creating content like that and having to read that stuff. But again, try not to take it too seriously. Try to spend more time in a space that you really find satisfying.
Twinkle, Gul, I mean, how would you guys, I mean, if there comes a situation where you've had enough, would you ever say, chuck it, nahi karna hai, main ja rahi hu?
For me personally, I wake up every day and I tell myself I'm going to be politically correct today. And I don't make it through the day.
Yeah.
So, and so I get trolled for that. And I don't think I've given up yet. Honestly, I would when I get really bored of doing it. I'm sitting here making jokes that my family and friends don't want to hear, so I give it to other people that, you people laugh at it, these people aren't. And I'm entertaining myself. I don't know where, once I'm bored, I'll stop. It's that simple.
Good.
I think there are a couple of things that I've come to learn after having been around for almost 9 years in social media. One is that I use the medium strategically. I fundamentally believe all form of communication beyond a point needs to be strategic. Also because the medium has changed so much. From having been back in the day, 6, 7 years ago, 8 years ago, it was a very, very different medium from what it's become now. So that has enabled a certain sort of a method in the madness. So I believe that any communication that I put out has to be strategic, has to be thought out. I don't do personal communication. So if it's public communication, it jolly will be strategic. Secondly, I've tried something that my friend Vishal Dadlani shared back in couple months ago. And he says if you're going to put something out and take a very, very strong position, in my case, I'm also trolled by those who think I'm politically affiliated to them if I happen to disagree with them. So I have the usual pack that comes after me any which way. Then there is what could potentially be my pack, which comes at me for me taking a position contrary to what they believe is the right position to be taken. So I say my bit and then I get off, because I don't want to get sucked into that vicious quicksand which will disturb me and make me go out there and post clarifications. I've said my bit and I'm going to go away and I'm going to come back in 24 hours. And then I will probably be more objective and I'll be able to reason out my arguments in a manner which is less emotional. Because I have stayed up nights trying to argue things through. And again, I'm not talking about trolls here. I'm talking about people who are putting forth arguments that you should be, if your position is strong enough, you have to defend it. Sure. So I have this rule, if I'm going to be taking a very, very strong position on something, or I'm going to be saying something that I know will unruffle and ruffle feathers, I just go away and then come back 2 days later. And then I'm more seasoned, I'm more reasoned, I am more objective. Last but not least, I do these digital detoxes often. I have a place outside of Bombay in the hills somewhere which has no network.
Super.
So every couple of weeks, I'm out of social media for 3 days. People think, oh, you're an addict, you'll never survive. But I do, and I come back with a certain clarity and objectivity which I probably didn't have when I left. So quitting is not the answer. Using the medium to meet your objectives and your goals is the answer. And all of us are very clear about what our objectives and goals are. So letting somebody else get the better of you because they are frustrated, lonely, unhappy, depressed, anonymous people is probably not the way forward, in my opinion.
Super. Thanks a lot. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, the awesome jury of PC Journal Outlook Social Media Awards. We are done.
And thank you very much, Weber, for facilitating that very awesome conversation.